Um, how would you go about going from, let's say you have no audience on LinkedIn. What are the, key strategies that you would tell someone, let's just say someone who doesn't have a business but is just trying to further their own career, and then secondly, someone who does, have a business and is trying to push that.
Yeah, I would go on the platform and ignore everyone else. And so like literally do not follow any playbook that is like working on the platform because if you follow someone else's playbook, the best you're going to be is second. You have to innovate upon that at the very least. But I would just come in with something fresh, something crazy. Usually the most insane posts on LinkedIn are like posts that nobody's ever touched on LinkedIn before, and maybe they're a little more common on Twitter, but I would come in, ignore all the playbooks everyone's talking about on LinkedIn. Do your own thing, and it will take a little bit longer for your stuff to get going. But I think really, if you want to grow on LinkedIn right now, company page or personal, you have to bring something incredibly novel, and whether that's short form video or anything like that. But also more nitty gritty. Once you do that and bring that type of content, with LinkedIn, unlike every other platform, you can build the audience you want manually. You can go connect with the very people that you want to follow your content. And if they just accept that invite, they're part of your audience. Every other platform, you're clicking follow and you just hope they see that they followed you or you followed them and they follow you back. LinkedIn, you can build your audience of 10,000 people in your ICP manually, or you can use an automation tool to send those automated DM requests. I don't do that, but so I would start doing that. Start working on building the audience that you want, right? So go find that ICP, and then engaging, like doing some crazy stuff in the comments to like not engagement bait, but to get some sort of engagement. Like with the Market Millennials, we commented memes on other people's posts in our niche. So do something similar to that. Like bring something in the comments where like maybe you can try and ratio the person above. But those are just like the little things. So it starts with novel content, then building that audience manually because that's a tool you can't have in any other platform, and then commenting on that ICP's posts as well.
This is an ad, but it's an ad for my own company, thehobbyletter.com, which is a newsletter focused on helping you build your business, your personal brand, whatever you're trying to build on social, get more sales. It helps you do it. We share all of our tricks, insights from building multi-million follower media brands of our own to helping lots of our clients in all sorts of different niches, personal brands, my own personal brand, everything that we know, we share on the Hobby Letter. So if you like this kind of stuff, you have to go to thehobbyletter.com and subscribe. There are links in the description below. And I look forward to seeing what you think, and I will see you there.
Yep. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I've definitely seen more memes on the platform, but there's still room for it. Also, the short form video feed feels like a huge opportunity uh, for folks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's gonna be really interesting to see how it plays out. And then this is how X Twitter used to be, where if you engaged with a post on the platform, it would be shared to everyone in their audience. That's still how LinkedIn is today, and it's the only platform that's still like that. So like
It
getting like Instagram, Dwayne the Rock Johnson can like your post, and your post can still end up with 5 likes.
yes.
But on LinkedIn, if Dwayne the Rock Johnson likes your post, it gets pushed out to everyone that's interested or follows or is connected with him. And it's
Powerful.
yeah, it's a compounding network effect. And I don't know if they're going to do away with that at some point. I'm sure they will, but for now, it's pretty insane.
Like, yeah, that's I mean, another reason, like one of your first questions why I chose LinkedIn. I accidentally went viral with my first ever post, and it was a troll post. And that's when I realized, like, holy crap, there's organic reach on LinkedIn. That's like another big factor of why I post on LinkedIn. The organic reach is like, I wouldn't say it rivals TikTok anymore, but it definitely is substantially higher than like it's on par with a lot of other platforms.
Yeah, and to your first point, it's a much more valuable audience if you're trying to build a business. It might not be as
Certainly.
valuable if you're trying to become a popular artist, um,
Yeah.
but it definitely is more valuable, if you're building a business or looking for clients or um, selling a SaaS tool or something like
Oh
that.
yeah.
All these different hundreds of categories, but obviously not all of them. I wouldn't be building your although there are more professional athletes joining LinkedIn, which is pretty cool to see. And I think it's smart from a potential endorsement deal perspective. You want to be on the radar of all the CMOs making those final decisions on who to allocate budget to, but
Yeah.
it's
And
cool.
I mean, that also unlocks a new, like another cool aspect of LinkedIn. Like everyone that isn't within reach on other platforms is substantially more within reach on LinkedIn. What I mean by that is like if someone were to send you a DM on Instagram, I don't know if you'd see it or reply to it, but if someone were to send you a DM on LinkedIn where your audience is way more intimate, you'd probably see it or at least acknowledge it more than the one on Instagram or TikTok. So like I've sent DMs to the most random people ever and I've gotten responses from almost all of them via LinkedIn, and like good luck doing that on any other platform. So it's that like the network is way more within we reach on LinkedIn because it's less of a saturated platform as far as like content and like followers, but the users are there.
Yeah, I mean, like Mr. Beast has like 100,000 on LinkedIn, something like that.
Yeah.
Um, and I can't imagine that he has another platform where he's less than 50 million.
Yeah.
So the disparity is pretty intense when you look at some people. There are others though who have their biggest audiences on LinkedIn, like uh I don't know, like the Richard Bransons of the world have like
Oh, I didn't even know that. His biggest
uh,
followings on LinkedIn.
yeah, it might be Instagram, but I know he has a very small YouTube channel, like surprisingly small, like 100,000. Uh, and there are a few of the early LinkedIn like influencers or celebrities or like business experts who were just pushed like heavily.
Yeah.
Basically on
Is it like
Instagram, I call
Cuban?
it yeah, on Instagram, I call it the God list, which is the list of accounts you're pushed to follow when you create an account. That's the God list. If you get on the God list, you basically won. LinkedIn has a similar God list, but their God list is like underneath accounts where it's like recommended.
Ah,
Um,
yeah.
and that's how those people like scooped up millions of followers without even posting. But yeah, it's pretty funny.
Maybe someday we'll be on there.
Yeah, that's the goal, right? They should feature like up and coming creators. Um what do you think the direction of the platform is? Do you think it's just going to end up turning into like Twitter?
I don't think so, just because that anonymous account and like the burner account side of things, like I think that's a clear differentiator for both platforms. Like I have buddies who love Twitter for that reason that you can start a burner account and you can tweet the most like obscene things and like it doesn't necessarily come back to you. Versus I like LinkedIn because like I know I'm sure some people slip through the cracks, but like you have to verify your identity to create an account on the platform. Like I can't create another Aiden Brannigan account because my like it just doesn't work that way. So I think there's so much value in that because a lot of these platforms struggle with bots, and I know there is problems with that on LinkedIn, but it's not necessarily bots. It's like just low quality followers, maybe from overseas. Um, looking for work that are just attracted to these US based companies.